KARMA Music Workstation, an unparalleled new level of expression, performance, and composition from Korg, the leader in music workstations. A marriage of two powerful technologies. The world-renowned Triton synthesizer effects and sequencing engine, and the new exciting technology called KARMA.
I had already been working on this for quite a while when I got together with Korg, and I already could see that it was going to be something very exciting. But once we got all these great programmers from all over the world involved, it became obvious that we were onto something immense.
7 years after assembling a global team of skilled engineers, programmers, and musicians, the KARMA Music Workstation brings new music-making possibilities to life. Korg debuted the workstation at the 2001 NAMM show in Anaheim, California, and it was the must-see event of the show.
It's flexible as a yogi on a muscle relaxant, you know what I'm saying?
We're going to hear about a lot of new songwriters probably this year, because of something like this.
The KARMA Music Workstation combines the incredible sound engine of the world-renowned Triton Music Workstation sampler with the startling power and control of a new technology called KARMA. This orchestral combination is a blend of multiple instruments with velocity switches. When you turn on KARMA and play, you get the most amazing and inspiring results.
The sounds are hot, the patterns are really useful and really relevant to what's happening in music today.
Being someone that was working a lot in the hip-hop industry with people like Dr. Dre and Ice and Snoop and Eminem, I'd probably grab one and bring it to the studio and say, here's the latest, greatest from Korg. Because they're always looking for that unique, different kind of sound.
KARMA's not just about generating beats and grooves, although it does that quite well, but one of the things that we really wanted to accomplish was providing a sort of musician's toolbox with different sorts of effects that musicians could use that are conventionally difficult to generate from a keyboard. I've always found it really difficult to generate convincing guitar picking and strumming simulations, harp glissandos, various emulative things of that nature, but with KARMA, it's as easy as playing a chord on the keyboard, twisting a few knobs, all sorts of great stuff is generated.
It's amazing. Some of the arpeggiation and moves that you can make would take 4 or 5 hours to get a bar of it, what this stuff can do just in one quick swipe.
What actually started me on this whole KARMA experience was trying to generate a convincing harp glissando. I mean, I would spend a half of a day stretching the spaces between the notes, trying to get them to overlap. I mean, if you think about the physics of a harp glissando, the hands are overlapping, the tempo is increasing and decreasing, the velocity is increasing and decreasing at the same time, but maybe not exactly the same. It's a very complex thing to model. And yet now we've done it in KARMA so that you can just play a chord, twist a knob here and there, and get all sorts of extremely realistic harp glissandos, among other things.
The fact that you have so many ways to vary sounds and effects in real time. You have performance gestures that are seem to be unlimited.
The control that KARMA gives you is unprecedented. Using 8 knobs and 2 switches, you have real-time control over elements like rhythmic complexity, harmony and voicing, phrase length, panning and other controllers, even the synth sound and effects. And you can quickly store your settings as scenes for one-touch recall.
No keyboard has the ability to do all these things at the same time in real time.
The real-time interaction at KARMA blew me away.
Patterns and phrases that are programmed into KARMA are called generated effects, or GEs. They contain over 400 parameters that determine the notes that will be generated based on what you play, how the rhythm can be randomized, adding in control over volume, velocity, panning, filter gating, and other controller patterns, plus 3 additional envelopes to control synth and effects parameters. A GE is like another synthesizer grafted into the Triton voice that is already there in the KARMA Music Workstation. You have one GE available to use in program mode, and up to 4 GEs available in combination or sequencer modes. With over 1,000 GEs loaded into the keyboard, you have a huge selection of new possibilities to explore and enjoy.
The 4 chord trigger buttons can also be a really useful musical tool. You can quickly assign chords from any area of the keyboard and then use them in a DJ-like fashion to trigger KARMA, re-trigger the starts of phrases. You can also take extremely wide voicings that would be difficult to play or impossible to play with 2 hands and yet assign them to a chord trigger button so you get these really fat chords.
Just by touching it, it can burst into sound.
The KARMA Music Workstation offers an immense palette of drum sounds and grooves to play with, and it allows you to blend the different elements of your drum kits in new and unique ways. On the fly, you can make your grooves more or less busy, add swing, pitch bend, effect control, and much more.
Plus, it's just got rad sounds. The drums are really amazing.
Keeping with Korg's tradition of always taking the technology to another level, they managed to do that again.
Add a new level of musical expression to your playing with Manual Advance. Use notes on the keyboard, the joystick, whatever you like to control a pattern in real time. Just play and take control over rhythm and tempo, the number of notes sounding together, and much more. KARMA gives you total artistic control over the performance, allowing you to play parts that you never imagined possible.
As always with Korg, very musical.
I've not seen a keyboard with this amount of control.
Another great feature we have is something called melodic repeat. It takes notes that you play on the keyboard and repeats them, yet melodically shifts and transposes them as they keep going. And what's really cool is you play a new chord in the left hand, for example, and the repeating notes will immediately transpose to fit the new chord.
What it can do is it really can open up a whole nother level of composition.
Another great thing you can do is control KARMA from different areas of the keyboard. For example, you could control a comping part from the right hand, bring in a bass and drums with the left hand, trigger an arpeggio with the joystick, use the other direction of the joystick to re-trigger your bass and drum grooves. I mean, there's just countless ways that you can use to trigger the various KARMA effects.
The ability to control all these different sounds is really, really rad. And it's, I haven't been able to do that in a workstation before.
It's a very, very cool production tool and very easy to manipulate.
Take the great Triton sequencer and combine it with KARMA's incredibly inspirational control. Record the KARMA knob and switch movements that you make instantly. Every pattern you generate, pan event, effect change can be recorded in real time. Results that used to take hours of tedious editing are now available instantly to capture your music making and production like no other workstation.
What's great with KARMA is you spin a couple knobs and you have a completely new song come out, new variation of the song come out just by changing a very few number of parameters.
You can create entire outrageous musical pieces, no matter what you play.
You know, every once in a while good karma comes along. In this case, it only took 7 years.
I can't wait to get my hands on one for all my upcoming remixes.
Well, karma is from another life. This is from another life.
I am floored.
It feeds the imagination.
I mean, all the Korg stuff is good, but this baby takes the cake.